All right, welcome to the AMLoB Podcast, guys. Um, we got me and Crips on tonight. We might have Corey. Right now, there's no confirmation for that.
All right, how's it going, lads?
Crips for the first time in a long time, actually.
Back,
So
back to
welcome
back
back.
to back pods, I think.
I was going to say, yeah, welcome back. Um,
Let me tag
but
everybody real quick.
of course, we have the power rankings, and that'll take up a pretty big portion of what's going on. And maybe we'll go off in a like typically do. Um, Maybe we'll go off on a tangent like we typically do, but we'll have to see on that.
All right. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I've got it pulled up whenever you're ready.
All right. So number one, of course, we have our usual Josh.
The usual suspect.
I was gonna say Josh, who's definitely been doing the thing this year. Um, Even now, I think he just got a win today against Poop, which obviously doesn't get factored into the power. Um, he definitely he definitely has done extremely well this season, man. Like I think he's coming back with a vengeance after suffering that loss in the AFC Championship game. So
Yeah, no, he what he's done this year. He's. I was looking at it earlier because I'm selfish and like to check out my own stats every now and again. And my man is over here averaging like 10 points a game allowed, which his yardage might not necessarily be first this year, but it's like 60 points below the next lowest team.
yeah,
Like what he's doing is just insane.
okay. Well, I know he has deep badge, but
Um,
yes,
yeah,
I've definitely done well this year, and I mean, I can see him continuing to do that. I don't think it's one of those things where he'll fall off. It'll be interesting to see exactly how this playoff goes. But how did I miss that? But it'll be interesting to see how this playoff goes. But
oh,
definitely has done well. I mean, it's really not much to say we haven't already said about him. Fournette MVP race again.
yeah, he's been
He doesn't.
healthy. That's the crazy thing is like that team's good, but that team with a healthy Leo all season, which he pretty much has been,
Yeah,
is
it does. Yeah, it's not going to be.
that's a tough team to stop.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, in that approach, you know, play tough D, control the tempo of the game with by running the football. I think he's definitely perfected that. So
Yeah, he's done a what he's done is to really just consistently perform at like that ball control level off. Like he's doing basically like the only thing I can equate what he's doing is it's like the OG Bama style of football.
yeah,
Like that's what he's doing is just run the ball, hit a play action pass to his great receivers, and I
yeah.
mean that's basically what he's managed to do this year, and it's been impressive. But yeah, I think that about sums him up. Is just, I mean, there's not a lot that to be said that hasn't already been said at this point. So it's been crazy to see. Number two, real quick to pull it up is I believe it's Cineo with his
Is number two
Seahawks.
is Cineo as far as I know.
It is. I put myself at two, but it didn't unbalance the rankings. So he's
Of course, we have Crips putting him at two Yeah.
Hey,
Always,
I've beaten like 3 of the top 10 teams on this list in the last week. So I think
and
I
so did
personally
you,
think
though.
I deserve it. But
He just beat Suff and he just beat Suff and he beat Chan.
yeah, and I beat Shan, and I allowed like 100 yards of offense to Snippy.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I think we all I'm the only one that pretty much supported putting him in the top 10 last week. So
It was close for me. It was close
okay,
for me. I'm not
okay.
saying it
So
wasn't close. It was very close. What he's done this year as being the number 2 team with a team that I don't think a lot of people expected to be able to be at the level he is so quickly has been very impressive. Do not get me wrong on that. It's been very impressive what that resume he's put together. I have personal bias, and I have no shame in that. But he is what he's done this year in that division to be, I believe he's the 1 seed now in that division. Is it's very impressive. So
yeah, I mean,
you
but
can tell we're both like half not I don't want to say half focusing, but we're both focusing on multiple things right now. He's now Cineo. I don't know what I was about to say. Snippy. Cineo's had a very good year this year. You know, Shaquem Griffin. He did the one thing that I'm surprised nobody does sooner, and it's putting Shaq Griffin as a pass rusher with his stock 80 finesse move.
yeah,
And he's been balling with that. And that's what's been really crazy is what he's been able to consistently do. Let's go. What he's been able to
yeah,
consistently do, what Shaq Griffin's got like 20 sacks this season or 18 and a half, which,
yeah. I was going to say Shaq Griffin has definitely been doing the thing this season.
I mean,
Uh,
the complete legitimacy of that might be in question, but the fact that it's happened is still crazy.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. I mean, he's done a really good job with that team. I mean, especially considering the dumpster fire he came into.
oh yeah,
Uh,
no, he's been what he's done this season has been great. I don't know how that was not a good foul. That's a fucking big man right there. That should have been a
yeah,
good.
but,
I got knocked for that personal foul, but it is what it is.
yeah, but I
Um,
mean, he's definitely done really well with that team. I mean, and he's 4-1 in the division. So
yeah, I mean, and
he only
that's I would say that's the toughest division in this league. I mean,
yeah,
you got Chan, you got Self, you got Cineo, and you have Robert, who has unfortunately kind of fallen victim to the greatness of the rest of that division.
yeah, yeah, and I mean
But
he's definitely done really well. So I mean, to me, that's the reason I had him at number 2 because he came in and he beat because he beat Suff in like one of his only losses of the season, and then you have avenging one of his only losses on the season, and then he comes back and beats Chan in their first matchup together in a very tight game, but you know uh, a game that that he definitely went out and won. So
yeah, it's been really impressive what he's done this season, being just consistent all around. Um, well, and I kind of gave it away, but myself was third. Me, myself, and um, taking up the third ranking.
yeah,
I'll say the reason I put myself above is considering that one of my 2 losses was with a backup quarterback, and I have the number 1 defense in the league outside of points allowed, and that's honestly that pretty much sums it up. I think um, I don't really have anything else to say. I already said I have personal bias, as has always been kind of the case that I like to I like to place myself where I feel I deserve, and I felt like I deserved a good little 2 ranking. But I have no qualms with Sinio being over me whatsoever. It was very close to me, but that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I mean it well, I have you at 3 because you're one got one of the better records in the league. Um you have beaten these top 10 teams. You've beaten like 2 or 3 current top 10s. Um
I've beaten Chan. I've beaten Chan. I've beaten. I pressed the wrong button on that. Damn. I've beaten Chan. I've beaten Snippy. I've beaten you. Granted, you didn't have a starter either, but I can't remember who else is in the top 10 off the top of my head. But I'm pretty happy with my resume with the way. Oh my god, I'm pretty happy with my resume with the way it's gone this year. But overall, I feel like I feel like I could have been better, but I was in a good mood. I was just coming off what's been a pretty solid day today, and I felt like I deserved a sneaky little rank in there.
yeah, I mean you definitely have done a really good job this season. Um
Kirk's been so good for me.
yeah, I mean but see that's what we told you last year whenever you lost Breeze, you were like it's not going to affect me that much.
I mean,
and
in
then
fairness, Teddy's ratings aren't that much worse than Kirk's. Teddy just played like dog shit.
yeah. Yeah. But I mean, you still ran with JT for a good portion of the season.
Well, yeah, that was
So
after I had to. But I mean, even JT did better than Teddy did. It was just I did not make a good free agent signing in Teddy, and I rode that a little too hard. I think I think anyone that wants to say a quarterback doesn't mean anything at all, go back and watch how many throws my quarterbacks missed last year, and we'll start that argument over again. But
yeah. So I mean, you've done well. Our game next week is going to be very important for what you know for how stuff shakes out. Um,
almost
but
definitely.
yeah, you've definitely done a really good job, man. So definitely earned the number 3 spot. Um,
Sorry, I'm
is
trying to. I'm not good enough to not be able to focus on this whatsoever, so I'm trying to go back and forth. And
that was a dumb pass. But yeah, like he had number 4, I
number 4 was all
believe.
over the place. We kind of 4 through 7, we all kind of had a little different. There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
Um,
number 4 we have who do we have though?
I need to do the math. It's not sorted. There's like 4 different guys.
Yeah,
I think it's the guy me and Vicious both had at 4, but I can't remember who it is. Um,
number 4 I believe is Chan.
I believe that's who it is. Let me, if I have half a second. I might not. This was not the smartest idea to pod and 2K at the same time.
I believe Chan has it
He's
because Chan.
4455, so I believe he is. Yes, he's got a 4.5, so there's no way he's not. Um, but no, what I think Chan is again. I mean, he's what 10-3 now after his most recent game, or 9-3, one or the other, and he's had another very impressive schedule.
Yeah,
I mean, we were just talking about how good that that division's been all year, and the fact that he is what he is, given that, is even more impressive in my opinion. Because I don't think a lot of people expected off the jump for him to be. Well, after his first year, he kind of gave off this impression that, okay, maybe like day one, he might take some time getting used to everything. And then he's just exploded on the scene the last couple of years. And even though that division's as good as it is, he's been insane the last couple, especially. Like this year, especially, even as that division's gotten better, adding Cineo.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely done well with that team. And I mean, a couple of the guys he drafted in the last couple of years have been huge parts, like the linebacker Neal. He's definitely been a huge part of where the success has come from. As he's been a great user linebacker for him.
Zeus,
so,
freaking Zeus, man, he's been a goon.
So I mean, it was definitely definitely impressive watching what he's done this year. And I mean, he has one more shot to avenge his loss to his only division loss to
was it Sup or Cineo that he lost to?
Cineo. He lost to Cineo. He swept Sup.
Wow, yeah. What is Sup this year? Is Sup 8-4 or something?
9-4.
9-4, and he lost his last game too, which is good for you.
Or did he won?
Did he win this week?
Yeah, he did. So, we'll get to that later. But
we can tell we're all sorts of out of focus today. Sorry about that.
We'll get to that. But I mean, I think he's definitely done a great job with that squad. Chan has taken Todd Gurley being hurt is probably going to play a pretty big part for him later. But we'll see exactly how that goes. So it'll be interesting to see how season ends with, like I said, without having Gurley, because Gurley is a huge part of his offense from what we've seen so far. But I think he'll do okay. I mean,
him not having Gurley is going to be, I think down the stretch is going to be big. But I mean, the one thing about that Rams team and him building it has only, I think, kind of helped it even more a little bit. Is that passing game is still really good. He's letting Kupp walk this offseason, but he's still got that solid trio of guys in Cooks, Woods, and Kupp.
I mean, you have you're forgetting Bird. He has Damian Bird, and I mean, between the speed between Cooks and Bird, that vertical passing game is something serious. And I mean,
I don't think Bird. I don't even remember Bird doing anything when we played. So I did forget about him. He's like a 70 overall.
So Damian Bird has been a huge pickup for him. He's done pretty well for him. A lot of times it's not. It's a lot of he really has like that slot receiver type role where he doesn't really, he only gets like a catch every now and then, but a lot of times it's for a big game just off of athleticism alone.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, he's a bit of a goon when he does when he's able to make plays.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah.
So I mean, that's number 4 with Chan. Number 5 we have number 5.
It's the guy Corey put forth. It's Pook.
Which I think I had Pook a little bit lower than everyone else. Simply because I don't think his season has been that impressive personally. But he's definitely done well. I think early in the season he did a lot more.
He's Yeah, as of late, he's kind of fallen a little bit. And I mean, in terms of like consistency of great performances, I don't know what the final score of his game with Josh was. I know he was up for a while, but I don't know, like, end of the day what the final score was by any means. But I know that, being able to compete at that kind of a level with Josh is always going to be impressive in my eyes, even if you aren't able to win it because you're, damn it.
Yeah, because I
Because
mean
because Josh's team and his record speaks for itself. It's kind of like the whole the close thing I compare it to is the whole argument of everyone saying, well, Georgia played a good enough game against Alabama that they should still be in the Final Four even though they lost. It's that kind of a thing. But obviously, I mean, that's the level of dominance Josh is slowly starting to creep towards. I don't know what else to compare it to at this point. Which says a lot about Josh, but
first 19-0 season in AMLoB history. And I mean that stretched across 13 seasons to that point. So watching, I mean him with Poop hanging with him, um, that says a lot. But like I said, I haven't really been impressed with Poop too much. But
of course, it's all
he's
relative. Being that
but
he's
part of it,
still a top. Everyone had him top 7.
yeah. I mean, personally for me, the reason I don't put much stock into it is because we know Pook is a regular season like monster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, he hasn't really done anything too eye popping that I would consider a being too anything too out of the ordinary for him. But he has had a good season though. I mean, two losses at the point we did the rankings.
Yeah.
You know, it speaks for itself.
Yeah, no, he's had a great season. I mean, it's all the fact that a 2-loss team is this far in the year is even at that level of contention. Again, I think says a lot about where the league is at this year in terms of records and everything. But that's a different story within itself. Oh God, no, it's been a great season for sure. I mean, most times you have a guy that's had that kind of a season like Pook has, it's not really going to be a question, that they're going to be top 5. And the fact that it is just, I think, speaks to, I mean, the talent that this league has and how well a lot of guys have played. But I don't think it takes away anything from him because he's had a great season. He's got, what he's done with Sua Cravens, controversial or not as it may be, is still impressive,
Yeah,
and it's it's the kind of thing that while it's like, oh well, Pook is showed an example of someone doing really well with it, it's not something that everybody can succeed with. And so
yeah,
I think his being that ability to do that is definitely something that's noteworthy to me. But
yeah.
I don't think
Uh,
there's not a ton left to say at this point, but it's Pook being Pook and dominating
yeah.
the regular season. Coming in next, we have Chris at oh great, we have Chris at number 5, and
Okay.
sorry, I was trying to find that on there. That was
He's actually number 6, I
is he
believe.
6?
Yes, because Pook is 5.
Or sorry, 6 is sorry, 6 is Chris, which again we're getting to 2-3 lost teams this far down. He's had a you want to talk about someone's had a surprisingly amazing season? I mean, you don't really need to look anywhere else. He's had what he's been able to consistently do this year in terms of, I think last season, if I'm not mistaken, he started off hot and then fell off, and it was like, oh, okay, well, I guess this is just maybe that's what this is just going to be. But then you just won, and then you just kept winning, and he kept winning, and
yeah, and I mean, Chris has done a great job with that team, and Geis is playing a pure beast. Geis is playing like a pure beast.
Oh yeah, Geis is on an MVP. Geis in most seasons would be at an MVP level. Sorry, I have no idea how the fuck I just did that.
The man just has exceeded. Chris has always been solid, inconsistent. Would probably be the word to describe exactly.
Consistently inconsistent.
Exactly where he should be at in that discussion. But I mean, what he's done this season has been very impressive.
I would agree for sure. It's been he's hit what he's done with the league way. We always, I think it's many a time has been kind of questioned. The consistency with which he is able to get lurks is something that a lot of people kind of question, but it works for him. Whether you want to knock the way he goes about it or not. I mean, he's got like 20 lurks this season because he's got 14 with a league. I imagine most of those 14 interceptions with a league way are off lurks, and I think the same goes for that other linebacker he has that is 5. It's been a great defensive year for him.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like his ability to get lurks, and like we said, that consistency is something that's always plagued him. Seeing him put it together for this season, and currently I think he's the one. Well, he lost today, so that would make you the 1 seed. But
I mean, either way, he's still got a first-round bye right now, which is, I don't think, something that really anybody expected coming into the year. No knock on him. It's just, or no knock meant. It's just, the one thing is like he'll come out with a great win one week against somebody that you wouldn't like. He'll come out and beat someone on like a Pook level one week, and then he'll go out and lose to I don't know. I don't want to take too many shots here.
When have you ever been the one to not take shots, Crips?
Okay, fine. If there was anyone that would beat Pook one week and lose to June the next week, it would be Chris.
Oh,
I love both those guys. June's one of my favorite people, but it is what it is. I speak facts.
Yeah, I mean, it's very it's a very interesting situation to say the least. Oh wow, how did that happen? But it's very interesting to say the least. But I mean, he's put it together for a lot of these games, and even this game with stuff that he lost today, not today, but last week.
I mean, I don't know if he really put it together on anywhere other than the defensive side, because if I'm not mistaken, Aaron Rodgers looked like fucking Matt Hasselbeck. Not even Matt. He looked like fucking I'm trying to think of somebody. He looked like if the other A-Rod stepped onto a football field.
Either way, he went 4 for 21 with 5 picks. So he had more.
Nathan Peterman. Aaron Rodgers looked like Nathan Peterman is what we're getting at.
He had more interceptions than completions.
It takes a certain level of talent to make Aaron Rodgers look like Nathan Peterman. But that is what it is. It was a tough loss, but it's still been a good season, and I think him and you are in the same boat of just praying that I will lose a game that I probably shouldn't lose, and I just got confused and thought we were on offense for a second there.
Yeah.
You had both of those things. You had both of those things. Let's see. In Memento, and I will see who we have next. I have to math this. How dicey. Oh. Someone else was in the call? Yeah, you there? Yo.
Hold on a second, Crips.
Okay. Well, hi everybody. This is your friendly neighborhood Crips here to remind you to stay off the weed. Unless you feel so inclined to not stay off it, and then do it in moderation, and 420 blaze it. I don't know.
I mean, with
I think you just missed everything. I
don't even exactly know what I just came back to. Crips. I guess it was a Crips PSA.
That's exactly what it was.
That's the only way I can describe it. The Crips PSA. But
your friendly
number
neighborhood, it was one of your friendly neighborhood Crips moments.
Yeah, but number 7, we have. Hold on, I gotta look at the.
Sorry, I'm trying to play some tough defense against a guy who's like 8 inches taller than me.
I got to number 7. We have. Jesus, who is number 7?
Yeah, it's some tough math. We didn't really agree. Number 7's the last tough one, I think. Suff? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Suff's not gonna like the fact that he's ranked below the guy he just beat, but
it didn't count at this point.
I mean, either way, it was a Nathan Peterman versus Nathan Peterman cockfest, and at that point, like, you kind of set yourself up for that.
Yeah. Number 7, we have Suff, who's definitely done well. I mean, it's typical Suff. Strong defense. Solid on offense. Even though his offense has definitely
his offense has been better this season, at least at some points. It's not been consistent. Like, the one thing that's happened where he used to be, like, he would have these outbursts where he'd be, good, but not great. And then most of the time he was just kind of meh.
Yeah.
And now he's getting where he's like, he's got weeks where he's not even meh, but he's got games where he's great. And so it's kind of like.
I think the biggest thing to me for Suff this season has been the efficiency outside of this most recent game. Actually, the outside of 2 games. I think he said he's thrown like 11 picks in 2 games. But I think that's to me that's the most impressive thing is the fact that he's been able to be as efficient as he has, which I mean part of that has been acquiring an Amari Cooper level talent. So to me that's been a big part of it is just acquiring an Amari Cooper. You have Christian Kirk. Of course, signing Gio, which is an upgrade from Marlon.
Yeah, his offense has been more consistent when healthy. Marlon, I think he's still trying to use Marlon a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. Although he has liked what Gio brings most of the time. But it's been I mean his defense has been playing well. Hassan Reddick is kind of showing the effects of not being a constantly usered animal, but that's how it be sometimes. Apparently Buda Baker's like doing everything he can to win league MVP, and
yeah, but I don't think he
will.
But okay, but yeah, he has Buda Baker playing at an MVP caliber level. He has, of course, Khalil Mack and Chandler Jones playing at a crazy level. I think Chandler Jones just got hurt though.
Yeah, he did. He
But
tore his shoulder. He's out for 4 weeks. So he's joined the poop bandwagon for another accidental injury reset.
yeah, which I mean, I would be in favor of because lost CMC, but uh, but
Just give me a 5 overall boost to Alvin Kamara, and I'll do it for you.
but you know, definitely has done a great job with that team. That defense is always going to be monstrous, at least until those contracts come up and he has to pay all these guys. Um,
Yeah,
which to
I feel like he's kind of in a situation with oh my God, I didn't even mean to fucking move with him. He's kind of got himself in a situation kind of like the Rams, except this isn't like an actual NFL situation where you have like the easier way to manage the cap. Like he's going to have a lot of guys coming up for contracts in the next year or two who are all going to be worth a lot of fucking money.
yeah,
And it'll be interesting to see how he's able to manage all that.
yeah, especially with how good a lot of those players have gotten. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
going to be a very interesting way. And I mean, is something that I'm pretty sure he'll figure it out. It'll come down to whether he wants to be remain elite on defense. And then another problem he's probably gonna run into is the aging guys because you got Chandler Jones, you have
Khalil Mack, who's like 29 now.
Yeah, so I mean you're gonna run into the aging process too. To me, that's gonna
his team's in. That's what I say. It reminds me a lot of honestly like what the Rams are running into with the will in the next couple of years is you got half the guys you're gonna have to pay out the ass for, and the other half of the guys you're gonna need to replace because they're getting old. And he doesn't have a lot of guys under long term like safe viable contracts for like he doesn't have a ton of like 25, 26-year-olds under contract for 3 years.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how he's able to play that long term. I feel like for the most part, we're going to continue to see a lot of turnover because I imagine most of those guys are going to be on the block.
Well, another thing is because he doesn't draft. So, so that's going to be a big part of it too, because it's like, how do you replace these guys if you're not drafting?
Yeah. Because he's traded a lot of those picks, hasn't he? He trades way a lot.
Yeah.
He trades picks for talent, which like I get, but like at the same time it's like, eh.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean to me that's going to be a problem that he runs into later, is that the aging problem, the signing guys, because to me drafting is where you get those good guys for cheaper contracts.
Oh my God.
You don't have to worry about paying them for a while. You can typically get away with doing a lot more. But we'll see how that goes. We spent a lot of time on number 7, but on to number 8.
Number 8 for you. It's unanimous, I believe.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what it is to say, man. Overrated. I'm kidding. What you've been able to do this year, given that you haven't had Cam for a good chunk of the year, is it's not something a lot of people would be able to do. I believe, did you go 500 or one game under with
I was 2-3 in the 5 games he didn't play.
Yeah, which having a guy like Cam and then going to, you had Tyrod for a couple games and you had thank you for not getting me an assist there. Tyrod for a couple games and you had who did you have before that for like 3 games?
Ogden.
Who's yeah.
On 2 other teams already since I let him go. But
yeah. No, it's been impressive what you've been able to do, considering 3 of your 4 losses came without your star quarterback, who your offense just so happens to run run through because of his ability as a rusher and a passer. And so the fact that you've been able to, you know, I've said it a lot and I'll say it again. I think it says a lot that you're on pace to go either 12-4, 11-5, and not even, I mean, you're what, a game, you're at least a game out of the playoffs right now, if not two.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm a game out due to tiebreakers. So
yeah, which is just, I mean, it's asking a lot to win 11 games in the NFL on a normal NFL Sunday, and you're asking for 12, and then it's still 12 and no promises of anything. Because if me and Suff win out, you end up, I mean, even if you beat me and I don't lose another game and Suff wins out, you end up 12-4 and don't make the playoffs.
yeah,
Which is, I mean, I don't really have a word for that other than ludicrous.
yeah.
I mean, frankly, that's the best way I can think to put it. But you know, and I've said a lot in many a conversation that we might need to reevaluate some things in regards to how that shapes out. Because I think this has been a very telling year in regards to a lot of that, especially without the Dev League now to help kind of mediate some of that, mediate some of what goes into you having finding yourself in a situation like that. And I think I've been on that boat more than you have, which is kind of surprising, but I think again says a lot about you too, and the fact that you're always well, if I win my games, I shouldn't be putting it in other people's hands kind of guy, which
yeah,
you know is I respect you for, but it says I do think it'll say a lot if you end up 12-4, 11-5, and even then could still finish a game out of the playoffs. You know, I don't think there's ever been a situation where an 11 and I think every situation in NFL history where an 11-5 team misses the playoffs, it's due to being 11-5 and losing on tiebreakers. You could be 11-5 and legitimately be a full game out of the playoffs.
yeah,
Which is what it is, but what it is a shitty situation. But no, what you've done this season has been very impressive. You know, CMC, I think it's gonna hurt you not being able to have him. But you know, you and me have always kind of abided by a similar logic of, well, if at least I have two running backs, that way this won't kill me as bad as it could.
well,
And
yeah, it kind of helps. Your other running back is Le'Veon Bell.
yeah, you've kind of driven that point home even more than I have this year. I'm over here with Jay Ajayi, and you're like, oh, let me just pull out 96 overall Le'Veon Bell. But no, it's been really impressive what you've done this season. As much as I give you crap about being like 2 games down to me in the standings right now, it's still been impressive. Number 9, I believe, is unanimous again, although I'm not sure. I believe 9 is
number 9 should be
it's Vicious. Number 9 is Vicious. Which you want to talk about impressive an impressive couple seasons. I know it's kind of been down in terms of his standpoint of what he's wanted it to be this year, because I believe he's like 8-4. But it's still been really or 7-5. But either way, it's still been really impressive what he's been able to do this season. You know, he's been a consistent presence. You know, that defense that he's built up is insane. Offense, when Josh Allen decides to play like Josh fucking Allen and not Josh fucking Allen, is
that's what I like to call the damn effect. It's like damn, and it's like damn.
I figured that's why I pulled out. I figured I'd give him the old JFA reference one time, but no, he's been great this season with what he's been able to do pretty consistently, and
yeah,
And
Yeah, I mean,
that defense is something else. That Tremaine Edmonds, don't get me fucking started on that man. I don't know if you've seen what that man is now, but
oh, he's definitely like if Luke
he's
was young.
he's a 6'5" Luke Kuechly, but he's faster and like 10 pounds heavier.
Yeah, it's a crazy situation.
Yeah,
Which when you think about it, it's just kind of like damn, like that team that, and then of course you have Trey White who locks it down on the edge, and it's a lot going on with that defense, man.
yeah, he's been great defensively. Really, these last let's go. He's been great defensively. These last couple of seasons. But I mean, he's the way he's built that talent up to just consistently be consistently dominant has been really impressive. And that offense is slowly starting to come along now, and it's been good. It's been good to see the progress with it.
Yeah,
He once again finds himself in one of what I believe is one of the easier the NFC East, for better or worse.
AFC.
AFC East. Sorry, I will always maintain somehow manages to fall into a situation where it's like the IRL AFC East. You have one good team, and then it's just everybody else getting picked on by that one good team. And this year, because of J Rose fallen off a little bit this season, that East has kind of fallen back into that mold again. And I just find it funny that it always tends to end up being the East.
Yeah,
But it's always that one division, and then it's the same thing ends up usually happening with the AFC South too. But
yeah. I mean, to be honest though, the yeah, it's just I don't know. It's always a crazy situation dealing with some of these divisions. Because remember last year the NFC East was like horrid. I don't think any NFC East team last year finished over 500 for the cycle.
Yeah, I don't believe they did. Oh, dang it! I was trying to shoot that. Oh my god, my motherfucker is just bricking shit right now. That was the saddest attempt at an alley oop I think I've ever seen.
Like we had, I think Bitches, even though the division hasn't necessarily been great, I mean, I think he's still done a solid job because I mean he's still maintained with everybody else that's in the AFC, and we all know those powerhouses. So,
Oh yeah, no, it's not a situation where I think this year. You want to look at realistically. I think you have almost more of an argument than you have in the past that maybe the Pats are getting boosted by a weak division to a better record than they deserve to be. I don't think this is a situation with that. With this, just he continually matches up and plays to the level of ball that I think a lot of people would expect of him and of that team that he's put together. Even though they're not obviously I don't think they're where he wants them to be yet, which I think still just speaks a lot to what his talent is as a user.
yeah.
And I think that kind of sums up 9 pretty well. And of course, these guys are dicey. Hit him with the 3. Oh, or hit him with the brick. It's okay.
Yeah. So I mean, on to number 10. Who we have rounding out top 10? Roger, uh, who I had at, uh, who I had at 11. But Roger was number 10 from everyone else, so almost unanimous. But watching what Roger's done, his season has been pretty quiet. especially for the fact that when we did the rankings, he was 8-4. So I mean, pretty quiet, pretty
Yeah,
quiet season, but he 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 has done well. I mean, you can't deny it. You can't deny it. Uh, you can't deny that he's done what he needed, what he's needed to do to get his team uh, where they are. Justin Simmons has been a huge pickup for him. Uh,
yeah,
Justin Simmons has been a Justin Simmons has been a huge pickup for him. Um, and he's definitely done pretty well with that defense. Lamar's taken a step back this year, but I think we can all assess what is the reason for that. Because he's coming up for a contract in a couple years. Well, if he takes the 5-year extension, so uh,
yeah.
so
I think the whole Lamar. I mean, we all. Yeah, I'm not surprised Lamar's had a bit more of a down year. But no, but I think it's also affected in his record too because of the fact that he did lean so heavy on Lamar for those first couple years, and it worked well for him. And him trying to go away from that, I don't think he's kind of shown he doesn't. He's built well to have a team that is built around the passing game of what Lamar can do, and when he's trying to go away from that and not focus so heavy on Lamar, I think it's shown.
yeah,
But either way, I mean, he still had an impressive year. I mean, he'll likely find his way back into the playoffs again as either the 5th or 6th seed in the AFC, unless he manages to pull a late season usurping of Coop. Although I don't know what their record differences is. I think it's 1 game at this point, but I don't.
it's 2 because Poop owns a tiebreaker if I'm remembering it right.
Okay. But yeah, no. Either way, it's still been an impressive year. This is kind of weird, me complimenting people. I don't have. I will say I don't. I like to take more strategic shots where I have like information in front of me that I can specifically take a shot off of, which I don't have today. So that's why That's why I've been a little nicer because I can't take any of my educated shots that I like to. But no, it's been. You all suck. Josh is a transcendent god that's playing at another plane of ethereal existence. That is all. I don't know. I just found that comment. That comment has stuck with me since the other day, so I just figured I'd drop that one on there. No, it's been I think my biggest takeaway so far from this season isn't even the records and everything. It is, well, we're home team for 3 games in a row. It is it's the tanking, which God, I could go on a whole fucking rant about, but I will save every.
At least speak part of your mind, Crips. It's the podcast, man. You got people watching.
Oh, okay. Yo, you want me to? Okay. I mean, man, at least like give a shit. I mean, if man, I will be 100% real. If Aldrich Rosas is not on the fucking waiver wire after this week, we got issues. Motherfucker went 0-5 and missed a 5-yard field goal attempt. Motherfucker better be on the damn waiver wire after that. I've spoken my mind a lot in chat. I've spoken my mind even more beyond that in what I think of the tanking that's gone on this season. I think personally that if you are not given a hearty effort, man, and I mean, it shouldn't be where it's just a whip your dick around for an hour and you come out of it and you're both like, why the fuck did I just waste an hour of my time? The fact that we just had a game in 3-0 with like 5 missed field goals by one team, man, that I don't care what you want to call that. That's not trying. There's no way you can convince me that that is trying, because unless you have a like vehement history of terrible internet, and even at that point,
yeah,
I think you would make one off of fucking luck at that point. even with bad internet, because you would at least know your internet well enough to know that.
Yeah, it's man.
I
The
mean,
tank is it to me, because I mean it's in the rules not to tank,
it is.
but I don't think we've done as much as we need to prevent it. So I mean that's something that we definitely looked into and made sure to do something about. Um, as we said
But I
in
don't think it should be a surprise to people when you go as blatantly far as that, and I don't think people should be surprised if they have repercussions come back on them. You know, it was something that has vehemently been in the rules, that we've always tried to find a way to police it to an extent, because people will try and go way too far on it. You know, something I've pointed out multiple times at this point is the fact you've had twice in NFL history where you had an 0-16 team. One of those teams started who the fuck was it that their quarterback was? Who was I can't even fucking the Lions quarterback that fucking ran out the back of the fucking end zone for a safety.
Dan Orlovsky.
Dan fucking Orlovsky, who ran out the back of an end zone for a safety because he was so oblivious about what the game of football was. I mean, I think nothing shows the fact that I think we all at this point know that the Niners would like to. The Niners are basically in tank mode. They have been since they lost Jerick McKinnon and Jimmy Garoppolo 5 weeks into the year. The Niners also just beat the Denver Broncos last week. That's real. I don't have anything else other to say than to that. The Niners have been in tank mode for 7 weeks and have won like 2 of their last 6 games.
Well, I mean, the thing with it is, you know, like I said, we've gone to the board and figured out exactly what we'll do. And that's dropping 2 of the best guys in your draft class to the 2+ dev. If you have 2+ dev guys, those 2 guys are getting dropped to normal.
We haven't quite figured out what we're going to do if you manage to find yourself in a situation where only one of your guys is plus dev in the first place. I don't know if that will be something that becomes, but I won't say anything against it at this point, because I personally would not be against still finding a way to do something. So, and that is just me speaking my mind. But yeah, if there are ways to do it where it's not just a complete FU to everybody else in the league and to the whole way that we've tried to run this league, and that the way when to be that absurdly blatant with it, I don't think. I mean that's how I take it. Is it's just it's a middle finger to whoever your opponent is that week and to whoever, and the whole system of everything that we've had going.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not against, you know, finding ways to give you a little bit of an FU back. That's the best way I can think to phrase it. You know, you're kind of putting yourself in that situation, and so I don't really have anything else to say on it at this point. I think it's beating a dead horse a little bit, but you know, it is what it is, and
yeah, I mean, we like I said, we've kicked the tires on it as much as we can. We've kicked the tires on it as much as we can. It's not because it's gotten a little out of control. So what we're gonna do, we already said, like I said, it's non-negotiable. Um,
and it's a thing, and I mean, and again, you know, stream your games, and streaming always plays in your favor, and this is another situation where it definitely will. You know, make sure your games are streamed so that there's video evidence that you're not tanking, or at least tanking to the point of kneeling it on first and second down and then saying your game glitched. Nobody buys that. No one did for a second. But it is what it is.
I mean, that's pretty much the only thing as far as like league business that we have going on right now.
Other than that, I don't think there are any major rule changes that are going to be coming in the off season. I don't think there's going to be. I mean, other than that refinement that was apparently needed, which I don't think any of us like having to make a refinement like that at this point. But it's not always. It's not always a great situation we're presented with, and we try and handle things the best we can so that we can upkeep the league to be what we all know it can be. And it's better to attack these things head on than to leave them leaving them rotten like a turd in the wind. It's it is what it is. But it's been overall, it's been a very solid year. I think we've seen. Yeah, I'm amazed. And I will continue to. This is a horse that I will gladly beat until everything is done, and that is the amazing amount of league involvement that there's been to this point. It's not something that I necessarily, especially with how much people have disliked this game this year, with how much it's basically been like 4 different games, cluster fucked into one game. The amount of league involvement that there has been, you have like half a second, OJ. That's been cluster fucked into one year, and we have as much league involvement as we do. It's been amazing. And that is first and foremost because of everyone listening to this and everyone else in the league that might not be listening to this. It's been the fact that, it takes 32 people. To have a complete league that runs this way, it takes a full 32.
Yeah.
And so it really is because of everybody in this league that has continued to stay active and, wanted to stay active and be a part of this league. And so, thank you to all of you that have done that and have made this, I think even despite what this league is, what Madden has been this year, I think this has been the best year for AMLoB to this point. And it's been up to this point, and it's been great to see. So, I just wanted to say that, and that is a horse I will continue to gladly beat well beyond after it's dead.
Okay, well, yeah. I think that was a great way to sum everything up, Crips, and I think that was a great way to sum everything up. Way to end the pod.
I just need to point out Tyler just forced to turn over on me.
way to end the pod.
And so we will see y'all next week, boys. I'm hopefully going to be able to get back to making more regular appearances now that I do not have any more Monday night film history classes. So that'll be great. And it's been
definitely. Appreciate everybody that was watching.
What about y'all, boys?
We will catch y'all next time.